What's up, my friends? Welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and I kind of wanted to talk about Naughty Dog's new game there. What is it? Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, and like The Witcher 4. Okay, guys, I've had a little bit of time now to actually sit back after the show on Thursday. I've kind of taken in my feelings, and I want to talk about these two games specifically because there is a lot of controversy surrounding both of these games right now. Now, we're going to start off with the Heretic Prophet Intergalactic, and we're going to talk about this, okay? So Naughty Dog has made a lot of games that we all love and we all cherish. You know, a lot of amazing franchises have come from Naughty Dog as a studio. Most of those came when Amy Hennig was a creative writer or something there. I have a lot of respect for Amy Hennig. She makes some freaking incredible content. She's got some games cooking right now. Definitely excited to play some of her games from her own studio, Skydance, yeah, something. I'm really looking forward to her rendition or her take on the on Captain America. Like I freaking love Captain America. He's one of my favorite superheroes, and so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what she has cooking. But as you know, Neil Druckmann is now basically in charge of Naughty Dog. I don't necessarily have a problem with Neil Druckmann. I think that his most controversial games are The Last of Us 2 and The Last of Us 2. And so when I look at that, I'm like, okay, so he, okay, guys, I'm one of the people that actually liked freaking The Last of Us 2. I thought it was a cool game. I actually came away from that liking Abby. I thought it was a pretty cool game. I think Neil Druckmann is the king of woke. Like, seriously, if you want to get technical, he's like the king of woke. Like, he pulled that shit off, and I was like, damn, dude. I wasn't sitting there thinking about like, oh my gosh, the gay or the lesbian or anything like that. I wasn't thinking about that the whole time. You know, I mean, the only time it really bugged me was in the movie, like the TV show, when they did like the whole Bill and, like Bill and Frank thing. I was like, oh my gosh, man, because that went right over my head. I didn't even know. After playing that game, the Last of Us, a couple of times, I really didn't know. It went right over my head that Bill was gay. So I was like, all right, it didn't even register in my little froggy brain. My little froggy brain, sometimes stuff goes right over it and I don't even catch it. And then like, I don't have one of those brains, man. I don't sit and just be like looking for negatives in every single thing. Now, except for like God of War Ragnarok, like I could just sense that game for some reason just wasn't going to be what I was expecting it to be. And that turned out to be probably like, yeah, I don't know what the hell happened with that one, but yeah, it happened. And I still, to this day, I'm like, how did they greenlight this? How did this get out there? So yeah, so Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. I'm going to give you my honest opinion on this game, okay? We're looking at it. The things rolling through, we meet the new character, and I look at her and I'm just like, I'm not interested. That was my first real thought. I was just like, okay, I'm not interested in this character. Sorry guys, it's getting late. I'm getting ready. I gotta go to work tomorrow. So I'm looking at this character, guys, and I'm thinking, I'm like, what kind of game is this gonna be? And then they show you like her standing on the planet with the sword and stuff, and I'm like, okay, but this looks like a game that I would potentially like. I'm not really super interested in the character, but if I know Neil Druckmann, I know that the character is probably gonna share a lot of resemblance attitude-wise with Ellie. I kind of feel that sassy attitude coming on. Now, I personally, through The Last of Us 2, didn't really care for Ellie that much. It wasn't until probably toward the end that I started caring about Ellie. At first, I didn't care much about Ellie's character, her attitude, or anything like that. Like, it was kind of a slog playing through that first half of her storyline. But then, once I started playing Abby, I was like, I didn't really care for Abby much either until I fought that boss in the bottom of the hospital. That big freaking, yeah, dude. And then I started caring about Abby's character. And I was like, because I started really caring about Ellie's character toward the end. And then, so I was mad at Abby at first. And it was like weird. Like my mind was like playing like this soap opera or some shit inside. Like while I was going through this game, there was just like this flood of emotions like going through as I'm playing the game, you know. The combat, like seriously, the combat and gameplay was so cool on that it like literally would have carried the whole game regardless of the story. So as I start to gain feelings for Abby, then I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, this turned out to do exactly what Neil Druckmann wanted it to do. It turned out where I cared about both characters and I cared about both factions almost equally. And like my feelings for what happened to Joel, I was just like, dang, you know. And at first I was like, ah, man, we could have still had like something, but I had to admit to myself that like, look, this game wouldn't have turned out good if something didn't happen to Joel. You know what I mean? And after the, I mean, if you've played the first game and you see what Joel does, like it's not like he didn't deserve it. You know what I mean? It's a lot like he didn't deserve it. Like that's just the world of The Last of Us. That's how that freaking world is. And so after playing through that and like letting all the pieces come together, I was like, okay, I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I was able to look back and see like the whole thing playing out, you know, getting, you know, like then it kind of makes me understand, you know, like Ellie's attitude, but then at the, you know what I mean? Like it just kind of all the pieces like clicked toward the end. And I was like, dang, this is a cool game. I like The Last of Us 2. I thought it turned out really good. I feel like Neil Druckmann and his team did an incredible job putting that together and bringing it back around, because there were times when I was like, oh boy, this story's lost me. This story, yeah, this is, yeah. But then it all comes together and I'm like, okay, this is good. So now I'm thinking about like this Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm gonna like this character, because that is the biggest roadblock for me right now, is the character, like the world design, melee combat, that is looking really good. So that part I'm like, okay, this looks good. But then when I look at the character, the main protagonist, like them first impressions really do matter. And like we're teetering, like I'm already like, I would say, let's just put it this way, I'm like 99% checked out on her. Right off the gate. I'm like 99% checked out. Like I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that first impression is like, okay, I don't really care about this character. You know, it's the same for Ghost of Yotei. We see the main protagonist in that, and it's a female, and I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, do I even want to play this? Is this something that I want to play? Like, do I want to role play as a female, a female, gosh dang it, samurai in Japan? Like, is this something that I actually want to play? And I keep asking myself that. I'm like, I don't know. I guess we'll wait until it comes out, and maybe I'll buy it, maybe I don't buy it. Yeah, I don't know. I really liked Ghost of Tsushima. I thought it was an incredible game, so I probably will give it a shot. But I'm at a point now where like some girl boss games are like kind of off-putting. I don't necessarily, you know, I don't know. I don't necessarily think the power fantasy for a female samurai in the in like the Ghost of Yotei or whatever is intriguing to me at this point. Like I'm not feeling that one. Just like I'm not feeling the Intergalactic, let me see if I can remember the name. The Intergalactic Heretic Prophet. Like I'm like, yeah, character-wise, I'm not feeling those two characters. And I'm like, okay, yeah. So I mean, I'm feeling the settings, but not the character protagonists. I don't, yeah, I'm not feeling those. So then we look a little bit forward and we look at The Witcher 4, because all three of these games share the same thing in common. They all have female protagonists. We know Ciri. We love Ciri. We freaking, she's like a daughter to us. Everybody that's played The Witcher 3, we look at Ciri as our daughter. Well, at least I do anyways. I don't know. I mean, some of you weirdos are nuts, man. You guys are nuts. But when I looked at it and I saw it, I was like, damn, dude, they did Ciri right. They did Ciri right. She's older. She's wiser. She looks more refined. She looks ready to do Witcher business. And that made me excited. And you can watch the reveal and see how I reacted to that. Like, I was genuinely excited. And I still am genuinely excited. So I get the divide in terms of like games. Like, to me, Ciri doesn't feel crammed in there. Like the woman protagonist in Ghost of Yotei. That feels like it's being pushed on us, to me. You know, it's like, why would we want to play as a female samurai? That to me feels off. The Heretic Prophet, Intergalactic. This one here is more of a character attitude thing for me, why I'm like, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe she turns out to be cool, but I don't know. I wasn't catching that, like, man, this person's cool. I was catching like, this person's a smartass. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna deal with that. Like, I don't know. Like, I just get like this weird vibe that this person is not gonna be a good character. And that's fine. Like, maybe the gameplay saves that game 100%. Because obviously I'm 100% interested in the setting and in what that game is potentially going to be. Because we know that Neil Druckmann has taken he's done a lot of thinking after that one amazing game came out. You guys might know what it is, Elden Ring. After Elden Ring came out, that was, he has went on many things saying that heavily inspired his next game, or heavily inspired the direction of his next game. So that has me very intrigued of what Intergalactic is going to be in terms of like world design and gameplay and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to that. But at the same time, I mean, you don't have to worry about it being a Souls game, because it's going to have like easy peasy mode and like bullet slowdown and all kinds of stuff in there. It's going to have the accessibility features. It's a Sony game. So it'll be there. So like when you look at those, so when we look at these three games, guys, when we look at these three games and they all have a female character and two of them are like, oh, I don't know. The third one is like, yeah, dude, I freaking love Ciri. We already know Ciri. Yes, obviously she's older now. Apparently they have changed the voice actor, which, I mean, yeah, that's kind of weird. You would think that they would just bring her back and let her voice herself. But, you look at it and I mean, let's face reality. Let's say that half of the team at CD Projekt Red is been replaced with newer people that have this newer mindset for how they're going to build games, and they want to make women less. They want to make female characters less. What's the word for that? Less. Gosh dang it. They want to make female characters less sexualized. Yeah, so they want to make these female characters less sexualized. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing for The Witcher, or at least for Ciri, because like I said earlier, I look at Siri as more of like a daughter. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with that. I know, like I said, there's some of you weirdos out there that probably were like, oh my God, Siri. But I was like, no, dude, like, I'm role-playing as Geralt. That is my dada. I take care of my dada. And yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that shit's creepy to me, man. That shit's creepy to me. That is the relationship that I have in my mind with Siri, is like, she's a daughter. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't have those like sexualized feelings for her. But yes, in The Witcher 3, Ciri was absolutely beautiful. Like, absolutely freaking beautiful. But we had our love interests. We had Yennefer. We had Triss. We had Kara, or whatever the frick her name is. I don't know. I chose Triss, so whatever. Don't at me, bro. Like, Yennefer was just a bit much for me. Absolutely beautiful. But yeah, Triss was the one that I ended up, she's living in Tucson with me now. so it's kind of crazy, you know. Like, I look back at the Witcher game, man. The Witcher 3 is my favorite game in the whole world, man. I freaking love that game so much. And I look back at that, and I look at that experience, and when I saw Ciri, man, The Witcher 4, I was like, this is so epic. This is so epic, man. I was like, gosh damn. I cannot wait to play this game, man. Ciri carrying on the mantle, you know, from Geralt. I was happy about, dude, I was so excited, so ecstatic to see that, like, I don't care if they change shit up a little bit, man. I don't care. I don't care what they got to do to change it up to make it happen. And, you know, not necessarily give us the same gameplay, but, you know, stick with that, like what we already know, and like kind of build on the lore a little bit. Ciri's special. Ciri has, what is it, like the elder blood or something, you know? So she's definitely, like, she can teleport to different freaking dimensions and shit like that. Like, Ciri's special. Ciri is a force to be reckoned with. And you know, maybe the story's 10 years later. You know, she was young. She was like 18, 19, you know, young in The Witcher 3. So maybe the story is forward like 10 years. So she's aged. I mean, she looks like a 30-year-old. She looks a little bit older. Maybe the story is, I'm willing to give it a chance and see what CD Projekt Red has come up with. There's no way that CD Projekt Red is going to go from creating Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077 with full-on female nudity and, like, literally you can adjust your size. There's no way they're going from that to just straight freaking queer wokeness, man. There's no way that is going to happen. Like there's no way, man. Powell's still there. Yeah, like it's not going to happen. Like I don't think it's going to be like super sanitized or anything like that. Like I don't. I think that anybody that's questioning what CD Projekt Red is going to do is probably a little crazy. Are they going to add more stuff to it? Probably. Will there be transgenders in it? Probably. Gay people? Yeah, probably. I mean, I think there are in freaking Cyberpunk. So yeah, like I don't know what you guys expect. Like we're talking about CD Projekt Red here. You know, it's kind of like questioning if Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to let you run over prostitutes. I'm pretty sure it's going to be possible. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I know that the writing's on the wall. I think that a lot of these companies have seen the writing on the wall. They've seen how much money they've lost. We're still in development for GTA 6, still in development for The Witcher 4. Like, they've seen these games come out and completely flop because people are rejecting the wokeness. They're rejecting it. I think that some games are, I guess here's my thing, guys. I think some of these games are actually being labeled woke when they're not even that bad. Like, I played Unknown 9 Awakening, and like that game wasn't bad at all. Like that game got a really bad rap just for being in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong. Yeah, dude. I look at that more as like the people that were railing against that one were probably, yeah, dude. That to me, that didn't make sense. Like, obviously it wasn't like a AAA banger or anything. Clearly it had its story plots and, you know, like it had its faults. Obviously it was sold as a AA game, so I get that. You know, I'm a little bit more lenient on AA games and stuff. And, you know, but I think that game just got trashed for all the wrong reasons. Dragon Age Veilguard. I'm not going to tell you how to feel about that. I personally enjoyed that game. Obviously, we've seen the actual proof that it exists in that game, the transgender stuff, and the LGBTQ stuff. So you take that how you want to. You take that how you want to, and if that's something that that bothers you, then yeah, by all means, avoid it. It is in there. There's about 5 minutes of it in that game. So with hundreds of hours of gameplay that you could potentially squeeze out of that game. So yeah, if that's enough to push you away from it, I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you you're wrong for that. Like, that's 100%. I was at the same point. Like, I was like, ooh, I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it. Like, I was right there too when I saw that stuff, and I was like, gosh dang. But I was like, no, dude, I wanted to play this game. I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it. At first, I was just not even going to cover it. I was just going to play it and not even cover it. So I'm glad that I played it, and I'm glad that I put my content out for it because, yeah, like people needed to know the truth about exactly what it is. It's not a horrible game, but yes, it does have that stuff in there. So if let's just put it this way, if your principles don't allow you to engage with that type of content, yeah, don't buy it. It's clearly in there. You don't need it. Don't subject yourself to it. Just move along. That sucks that they had to put it in there and you know, pretty much, you know, get rid of or ruin a game that you wanted to play. I feel for you, man. Like, I do. Yeah, I mean, like, obviously you've all seen what's in there, but in my playthrough, like, none of that happened. That whole cutscene didn't even happen. We're all sitting at a table, and they're like, oh yeah, as long as you don't do Tash's side quests, you'll never see it. You'll never see it. It literally just comes up as like you're talking to Tash, and they're like, and then somebody else will be like, oh no, they want to be called they, and then you're like, okay, whatever, and then it just like moves on. Like, seriously, like, if you don't want to experience that, just don't do her side quests, and you won't have to experience that, period. So yeah, as long as, you know, so I just feel like people take things out of context to further their own selfish needs instead of just being honest with people and being like, look, man, this is what it is. Because I feel like if a lot of people knew that, man, I've played Mass Effect Andromeda, and I've played like the other Dragon Age games. I don't necessarily think that it's I think there's some of that kind of stuff in like those other games. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit like, I mean, like this shit was fine 10 years ago. Now all of a sudden it's not fine anymore. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like 10 years ago, I don't think a lot of us cared about this shit, but now there's money to be made off of it. There's money to be made off of going negative against these video games. So everybody's taking their chance. Everybody's making money off it. Like, you are literally making these people richer while you are destroying your freaking, your gaming. Like, you're destroying your gaming while making these people richer off you because you keep consuming their content and then you don't buy these games. Pretty soon these games are going to get so safe, man. They're going to go back to making like Mario games for everybody, and we're not going to get cool shit anymore because we keep wanting to break it. Honestly, you know, I think that there's a drastic change coming for gaming. I do. I think that the people that fund this stuff are tired of it. I feel like Sony's like, nah, dude, we're not going to keep doing this. So Neil Druckmann, this is his last opportunity. Hopefully this thing turns out good. And yeah, my money's on CD Projekt Red doing the right thing. Oh. I think Witcher 4 is going to be good. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to have a lot of good stuff for all of us. So I think we're going to be all right. So if you guys like this content, do not forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.